Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be answering your questions. A couple weeks ago I posted a video saying please ask me any questions and I'll get around to answering them. So that's what this video is going to be about. Alright, so the first question is, I'm going to do the questions about the baby first, and if you haven't seen my 14-week update, I just posted that, so you guys can go check that out. I'll link that in the description box, and I go more detail into about baby stuff and updates and stuff. But anyway, so the first question is, how does Miles feel about the new baby? He is so excited about the baby. I think he actually understands what's going on. He talks about the baby all the time. He kisses my belly. And he's just really excited. Every time we go to my midwife appointment, they really involve him and just tell him everything, what they're doing and going on. And he loves hearing the heartbeat on the Doppler. And he's just super excited about being a big brother. Second question, will you do a name reveal when you find out what the baby is? No, we're not gonna do a name reveal, but we are gonna do a gender reveal. We're gonna wait until after the baby's born to do the name reveal. That's what we did with Miles. Not even family knew until after he was born. So after the baby's born, I've got a special video in mind that I want to do for the name reveal. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that, obviously. But yeah, we're going to just wait until after. So when I was pregnant with Miles, the original name that we had picked out for the whole entire pregnancy, a couple weeks before he was born, we decided to go ahead and change that. And we had 3 names to pick from, and we waited until after he was born to pick the name Miles. That was actually the name that I loved all along. But the original name we had picked out, that did not end up being his name. So it's a good thing we didn't, because had we done that, we'd have to go back and tell everybody, hey, that's not his name anymore, you know, we're gonna pick a different name or whatever. So we just like to keep it private from everybody until after the baby's born. Also, could you do a names I love but won't be using video? I've seen these videos and I think it's a really fun video to do. However, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I've considered doing it, but we have a really hard time coming up with names. So I feel like there aren't any like names that I love that I won't be using, because if there's a name I love, I probably will use it, because there aren't very many names that I love. So I'm not quite sure on that. I haven't decided yet. Maybe after we pick the baby's name, then I'll do another video of other names that we won't be using or something. I don't know yet. All right, and then how many kids do you plan on having? I don't know. When we got married, we both wanted large families. I have 4 siblings, my husband has 8 siblings, so we just always thought we would have a large family. But given our fertility struggles and how hard it is for us to get pregnant, I mean, I don't know. I would love to have 3, 4, 5 kids, but I just really don't know if that's possible. So we're just gonna be happy with our 2 right now. And yes, I would love to have more. I think I would always love to have more, but as far as like putting a number on it, I mean, when you struggle with infertility and you don't know if you're ever gonna get pregnant again, then you don't really pick a number. You just kind of, I guess, have what you're given. So I hope that answers that question. My question is how to make time for yourself. I am a mom of 3 and it can be hard. This one's a tough one because I really don't feel like, oh, I just need me time. I just need me time. Maybe that's because I only have 1 child, but there are some things that I do to kind of help myself feel put together and to help myself just not feel frumpy. So I make sure that I take a shower every single morning. I make sure I get dressed, and that just really helps me start the day. I know that if I was in my pajamas all day, which sometimes I've been in my pajamas for most of the morning because I haven't been feeling good, I just don't feel like myself. And so feeling put together really helps me feel like I'm taking care of myself. So the other thing is, after Miles goes down for bed, he usually goes to bed between 7:30 and 8. After that is kind of like what I would consider my me time. My husband is doing online school classes, and so he most of the evening will do his classes online, and so I try not to disturb him. He does do it for a little bit of time, and then we do spend some time together before we go to bed. And so during that time where he's studying and doing school, I'll either work on YouTube videos, I'll sit down and watch Netflix, or I've got some sewing projects I'm doing right now, or I'll do some reading or something like that. So that's what I really consider my me time, my relaxing time, time that I can just spend doing something that I would like to do. So if you have a time like that, you know, just maybe getting up early before everybody, and, you know, having a little bit of time to yourself. I'm not a morning person. I used to get up early when my husband got up to go to work, and then I would have a little bit of time before Miles woke up. But now, just being pregnant, I've just been so tired in the morning, I just cannot get up. So I usually wake up around 8 o'clock when Miles does. So usually in the evening is that me time. Also, getting together with other mom friends is a really great way to make time for yourself, just talking with other moms. There's other things that I like to do to help take care of myself. Like, I like to paint my nails. I started doing dry brushing, and it just makes me feel like I'm taking care of myself. So just find those little things, even though you may not have like a huge chunk of time just for me time. Try to find little things that will help you feel happy and just help you kind of feel put together, and just help you kind of feel like you're pampering yourself or something. So that's kind of what I like to do, at least for now. I'm sure this is going to change completely after we have baby number 2. So that's what I do for right now. I'd like to know if you are enjoying the new house, and how is Miles with not having a backyard, and how long are you intending on living there for? Our new house is fine. It's a townhome. It's been kind of a struggle because we don't have a yard. Miles does go out and he likes to dig in the dirt. We've kind of had some weird, crazy weather going on with snow, and then we'd have a nice day and then snow. And then we had a really windy day, which was nice. Outside it was like almost 70, but then it was so windy you couldn't even go outside because like there was dust everywhere. So we haven't really felt the impact of not having a yard just yet because of the weather. You know, it's not spring or summer yet. We do have parks nearby. If it's a nice day out, we try to get out and take a walk. But yes, it is hard not having a backyard for him to run around in, and I think that's our biggest struggle with living here. I mean, our house is fine. We love our house. It's plenty of space, especially now that we finished the basement. But yes, having a yard, not having a yard is probably the hardest part about living here. How long do we plan to live here for? I don't know. We don't really have like a set date. I know that we have to live here at least for 2 years to avoid capital gains tax. You know, if you move and you make a profit on your house before 2 years, then you have to pay capital gains tax. So we still have a year and a half left to live here before we have to worry about that. And I think I would really like to move at that point. But housing is just so expensive. We're always keeping our eye out. We would love to build a house or have some land. So yeah, I mean, there's really no definite answer, but I know this is probably not our forever home here. So then another question kind of along the lines, how do you daily pursue contentment, and what motivates you to keep an orderly home? Honestly, it has been really hard having contentment. I think the biggest thing to keep in mind is that this is just temporary. We don't plan on living in this house forever, and so having that in mind helps me, you know, think, okay, this is just temporary. This is where we're at right now. This is where God has us. So we're just gonna be content and be grateful. But it is really hard to be content because, like I said, we don't have a yard. Townhome living, I mean, everybody is so close together. There's just so many, like, we live in a high density area, and so it's just really hard. I mean, especially coming from 5 acres in Indiana, where we were out in the country, to a little tiny townhome with no yard, it is very hard to be content, and I do struggle with contentment. So the biggest thing to keep in mind is that it's just temporary. Temporary for now and temporary eternally, because I mean, you know, everything here is temporary anyways. Whether we live on 5 acres, that's still temporary, or whether we live in a small townhome, it's still temporary when you look at, you know, the grand scheme of things and eternity and stuff like that. So it's hard to be content. Some days are better than others. Some days, you know, when you're driving past a piece of property and you see it's for sale and you're like, oh, that would be perfect. And then you look at the price and you're like, okay, nope, can't do that. But we would love to live out and just have a little bit more space. I would love to have chickens. I would love to have bees. I would love to have a huge garden. We do have a community garden that we're going to be doing this year. So that's nice because I can still have the garden even though it's not here at the house. So yeah, it's hard to be content some days, honestly. And what motivates you to keep an orderly home? The biggest thing is I just can't stand when the house is out of order. But it's been really hard for me lately because I've been struggling with morning sickness, and it's really hard when you don't have energy and you just feel like you're sick all the time and you just want to lay on the couch. there have been times where I haven't done the breakfast or lunch dishes until dinner time because I haven't been feeling good. But it drives me crazy if the house is not orderly and clean. I just feel like I'm more put together. I feel like the atmosphere is more calm when it's that way. So the biggest thing that drives me to that is just my own sanity, and like if the house is a mess, I'm grouchy, and so I love cleaning. I love the house to be clean. Lately it's been kind of hard from being sick, but that's what motivates me. I love a clean house, and it just helps me feel like I can get through the day when the house is clean and orderly. So then the last set of questions were all budgeting and financial questions. So I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm actually going to be doing, not that I'm an expert at financial stuff, but I do have some financial tips and advice that has helped us throughout the years. And so I want to do another video later on, sometime in the future, kind of sharing all those. But there was one question on here that I'm going to go ahead and answer, and that is, what tools do you use for budgeting, Excel spreadsheets, etc.? So what I like to use is called Quicken. And what I do on there is just a line by line. So instead of like reckoning your checkbook or whatever, keeping track on paper, or you know, like in the back of your checkbook, how you can keep track of everything, it does it on the computer for you. So we get paid every 2 weeks. So I go online and I look at our bank account and I look at my Quicken, Quicken. I always get QuickBooks and Quicken because we have both, but I use Quicken. So I look at that, and our bank online has little check boxes. So as each thing clears the bank, you can like put a little check by it. And so the same thing on Quicken. So what I do is I go through and I line them up, because what can happen is you can make an online payment, you can write a check, you can use, you know, your debit card or whatever, and it doesn't go out instantly on your bank. So you can look on your bank and you can see, oh, we have X amount. Well, but you forgot you've got all these bills and you've, you know, wrote this check or this or that. So that's not really how much money you have. So what I like about Quicken is that I can go through and I can put everything in. So every 2 weeks I go in for just the 2 weeks and enter all the bills in, all the payments that are going to be made during that time. And then I can see at the bottom actually how much money we do have. And then I can go through and I can check mark it and say, okay, that cleared the bank. And I do that every 2 weeks to keep on top of it. So that's the program that I really like to use. I don't have an app on my phone. I just have it on our desktop, and I just sit down every 2 weeks, and that is what I use. So the rest of the financial questions I'm gonna save for another video, so this one doesn't get too long. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I answered all your questions. If you have any more, feel free to leave them below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.